Hello, everybody. My name is Los. My commentators with me. So we have Captain Paxo right here and Bearhead. So they're gonna assist me on commentating. I probably gave like most of the commentary to them and mainly focus on the run because it's a really technical run. Really happy to actually be here and start the second day off with my favorite game, that actually got me into speedrunning in the first place, like really. So I think, without further ado, we can start.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So do I have to press the button here to start the timer? Okay. Yeah, sure. Steam notifications. Quickly do that. Yeah. Sign out of account. I think it works.
No, don't do that.
Don't do
Cancel.
that. Go offline.
Yeah, go offline.
Steam.
Top left.
Top left.
There.
There you go.
Brad's there. Yeah, I see it. Offline. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, so it reset my controls, so I quickly have to change them because I tapped out of the game. And that should be it. Okay. So I can just press the button and start. That's correct. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
There we go.
We're good.
Okay.
We're here.
Right. Okay. So most of this first level will be pretty straightforward to begin with. But
Oh.
there we go. We're back.
There we go.
There we go.
But we have a chance to kind of talk about how this game works. So the way this game's set up, there are 15 levels that Loz will be playing in this category, split into 3 episodes of 5 levels each. We're currently playing through the first one, where the main villain in the first section is the Riddler. And each level kind of has its own theme set around... each level has its theme set around a different enemy from the Batman kind of series. So in this level, it is Clayface. But we're starting off with Loz here. Loz is going to go for one of the most difficult tricks in the game. So this is known as tech suit skip. Straight away. And what Loz has got to do...
Get
we
it
need
first
to-
try.
First try is insane. So what you saw there was something known as a BRC, or a Batarang clip. Basically, Loz pulls out the Batarang while just about sliding off of a slope. And by doing that, the game actually clips you a little bit into the wall and a little bit into the floor. And you see Loz kind of falls all the way down. And then that allows him to be able to skip out of bounds through that section. Saves about a minute, that trick, I think.
Yeah.
And Loz is also going to be trying to take a death here. Unfortunately, not quite.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Got the
Yeah. I got
0
it at the end.
studs.
Yep.
So a very common trick that we do in LEGO games is at the end of the first level, we're not able to skip through all of this scene selection and showing of the unlocking of characters, counting of the studs. So during your first level, you want to finish the game with 0 studs so that it doesn't show you the screen where it counts them all down, and it saves probably, 10 seconds?
It saves even more in the first
Yeah.
playthrough, since like you can't skip it. Afterwards, it saves like 5-ish seconds if you get it in the other levels. First level, it's like pretty big and really like useful to actually go for it.
Yeah. Now we have one of the bigger pieces of tech in the game. This is what's going to be known as a drop-in warp. Oz is dropping in player 2 and controlling player 2 at the same time. That's quite a common thing across LEGO games. Unfortunately, P1 automatically dropped out. The game likes doing that. But what Oz is doing right now is using 2 characters at the same time to be able to control the game and make it go faster. What Loz will also be doing now is a technique known as e-gliding. So
P2.
this suit area, this is one of the key mechanics in the game. When you play this, when you play each level for the first time, you have to use these kind of pads to be able to switch suits. Sorry. And then Loz will be doing that here. And then using the glide suit, you can do what's known as e-gliding. which is a very specific button mashing rhythm. I think it's about 88 beats per minute or something. And by doing that, you're able to extend the length of the glide that you normally get from this suit. Another trick here that was recently discovered, I think about 3 days ago, is you could just jump up this collision here for some reason. And jumping all the way up that collision here, and then going up this way, and then Loz has got to do quite a difficult trick here as well to get out of bounds. And then you can just hit the door for the next room, as easy as that.
Of course, he gets it first try.
Very nice.
Those are very precise E-glides you have to do there.
Yeah.
Gonna introduce you to a new tech. So this is basically Super Mario Odyssey. You can cap jump in this game. So it turns out if you're actually pulling out the batarang, you're considered grounded, and you can jump out of it. And it turns out that if you like target something and you jump and the batarang is coming back to you and you're still holding the target button, you go back into the targeting animation. So you can like jump out of like your jump. So it basically gives you a triple jump.
Yeah, and what Loz is going for now is what's known as, or what we've already seen before with the BRC, clipping slightly into this wall here, but then also using lag strategy to be able to get out of bounds. So by artificially lagging the game by using Control-Alt-Delete, what you're able to do is just clip through some walls, especially when you've already got in a partially clipped out state from a batarang clip. You're able to make sure you fully get through the wall by doing these lag strats, so that they're used all over the place. They've completely changed kind of the shape of this game because so many different things and collisions just get exposed and broken each time. Or each time Loz seems to boot up the game, really.
When Lost boots up Lego Batman, you know a new strategies get cooked up.
Okay, so my controls are really weird. I don't know which is the build button on P2. So quickly have to look that up because that's not normally like. Why is it control right? Okay. Yeah.
Gotta love Lego games.
Yeah,
Changing the controls
changed it,
if
like,
you alt tab or anything like
normally,
that.
like the thing is, I'm actually playing with default controls, and I have no idea what the default controls are now because I've never seen those default controls.
Yeah, they're different than any I've seen.
Yeah. Whatever, I can make this work.
I think that's just, yeah, one of the common things with Lego games is
Yeah.
that anything you'd kind of expect to normally happen,
Yeah,
you can guarantee that that's the one thing that won't happen. Especially with these kind of older ones as well.
Yeah, I don't know about the stability of Lego Batman 1, but I know a lot of the Lego games like to crash when you're running them on PC.
Yeah, this game is not too bad with crashing. There are common crashes, but we know how to avoid them. Something else, I'm actually running at 60 FPS at the moment. There will be times where I actually change VSync off, so basically make my FPS unlimited or as close to unlimited as possible. It's going to be beneficial in like 2 levels, do 2 strats, and I need to do this with him, I guess. And one thing how you can actually avoid crashes is don't turn VSync off. Just don't. The game just like doesn't function well with VSync off. There are multiple soft locks on a like casual playthrough that just occur if you have VSync off. Like in the first level itself, you can't finish the first level if you have high FPS. So that's one thing to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankfully, I think Loz is pretty aware of where the potential crashes and softlocks are, but worst case scenario, we have saved the game.
Yeah.
Normally in runs, you don't save the game at all because I think it saves 1 or 2 seconds per save cancel you do. Basically, at the end of each level, if you haven't saved yet, you have the option to save the game again. Normally in speedruns, you just won't save it and just gamble on the fact that you won't softlock, but
yeah, that's
believe
a
it or
way
not,
to describe it, yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing that today. We're not running that risk. So Loz is just finishing up this boss fight now. This boss fight's kind of annoying because you have to wait almost for a scripted phase or length of time where Mr. Freeze is attacking either player 1 or player 2 before you can then hit player 1. That's quite a common thing across this game, and that bosses supposedly like to have kind of their own set of iframes and stuff. But there's a lot of other ways of working around it in most other levels by spacing out your attacks. So that's something we're seeing Loz do kind of a lot further on. But this section instead, we have our first vehicle level in the game.
Actually, the only good vehicle level in the game.
Yeah, there's 3 vehicle levels in the game, and this one...
Well, in this category, 3.
Yeah, in this category there is. But this one is definitely the best one of them. The whole mechanic is you've got to like shoot the required trucks and then drag them onto these kind of helicopter pads to be able to progress the section. Loz is also going to set up for a small optimization here by positioning the Batmobile this way and then pressing the accelerate button. You can go through kind of that transition during a camera pan when normally your movement is locked.
Yeah. And so in this section, you're supposed to like drag 3 trucks to the spotlight, but we can do something completely different.
And we're out of bounds.
Yeah.
Easy as that, just by timing the drop in. And then Loz has got to precisely move along out of bounds. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Let's try this again.
Get another drop in. Nice and easy. You can do it first try again.
So this out of bounds movement is kind of annoying because the game very much likes to push you back inbound. It's a very small area. You actually have to be able to walk a fine line between hitting the transition that loads the next room and oh, you got the really fast spawn. Yeah, hitting the transition that loads the next room and hitting the wall that pushes you inbound.
Also the camera just like completely...
Is not helpful.
No, it should snack back any second. Okay.
There we go. Then Loz will line himself up here, and there we go. Very nice.
Second try is not bad there.
Yeah, the backup's not too bad, and because of a newly found skip like last week, I need 30,000 studs, like the currency in the game, to actually buy an extra, and doing that extra round around like the harbor gave you enough studs, so I don't have to worry for the rest of the run.
Oh yeah, it was just a bit of routing.
Just
a bit of stud rounding.
It was stud round. It's completely intentional stud rounding, obviously.
And then yeah, we have the classic Lego trope of boss fight of hit them 3 times and then the level's done. We finish that off here, and that is the 3rd level of the game done. We now move on to 1-4, which is a pretty notorious level. It has gone through some changes quite recently, thanks to Loz right here. Yeah, Loz has done a lot of the glitch hunting and stuff for this game, but this level in particular, it seems that pretty much everything has been... Well, the first person to do it was you, I think.
Yeah. So, like, casually, you're supposed to build the truck in the background there, destroy the fountain in the middle, and you get a new suit, and then you use the suit to actually shatter the glass, but that's slow and boring. What I'm gonna do is I'm setting up some Control-Alt-Deletes to lag the game a little bit. And that will actually clip me through the wall. So I don't have to like deal with the glass there. Then I'm gonna do another BDJ, a battering double jump, like Super Mario Odyssey style, like a cap throw jump, to get over this, over those plants. Those plants are like, the intended ways you actually destroy like water tanks in the background. With the Sonic suit, the suit we skipped, and then they would just like go away, but we can just jump over them.
So coming up here, we have one of the hardest tricks. We got a couple frame perfect inputs that he needs to do to get in and down here. So he's going to do a batarang clip. He gets down, he lags in, and first try is absolutely nuts there.
That's actually a really big skip. Like you're supposed to actually grab another suit of Robin that actually like allows you to suck up pieces, and you need 25 pieces to actually like build a bomb that would destroy the plant itself. By the way, this reload is intentional. We're getting there, and we can skip the entire suit. But on the side effect is we need to skip the suit here as well. Got it. Nice.
Very nice.
Easy.
Yeah, so that reload is actually going to set up the next trick, which Loz will be going for, which is even more precise than the stuff you've seen before. Loz is going to be jumping on like an invisible turnstile here, to then get behind the plant, and then we'll pull out the batarang again and do a batarang clip here, and then the fun begins. This is an incredibly precise setup. So Loz has got to lag the game, and then in coming back into the game, do a specific set of inputs. We use pause buffering to be able to set it up to land in a precise spot. Unfortunately, didn't get it that time, so we'll try it again.
Won't work.
Yeah, this is incredibly precise. It's
I gave it a couple attempts. If not, I'm just gonna play the room like casually.
yeah.
Yeah, You are able to skip the entire boss with it, so it's a big skip, saves a lot of time.
Okay, didn't get it.
Ah, okay.
So what you're supposed, or what I tried to do was actually clipping out of bounds there. So I was trying to actually like stand in a really specific spot and stage play. I would have been able to stand halfway inbounds and halfway out of bounds. And by doing that, I would be able to actually hit an out of bounds trigger, which is basically like a developer door that skips the entire boss fight. So if I would have done everything correct, I would have been able to skip the entire room here, this entire boss fight, with just like a precise jump. With that being said, it is a really precise jump. It is a really hard skip to actually set up, because you have to, first you have to clip out of bounds, and then you also have to stand in a specific spot, halfway inbounds, halfway out of bounds, that actually gives you a respawn. I actually got the clip and the positioning correct, but the bad thing is I didn't get the respawn point there. If I would have done everything correctly, I would have been able to skip this entire fight. Luckily, this is not too bad of a boss fight.
Yep, that was very nicely done from Loz. Again, that boss fight, the last phase of it when you're attacking Poison Ivy, that's meant to take a lot longer. If you're just spamming the attack button, it will take an awful lot longer to be able to complete it, because the boss collects iframes. And if the boss gets any iframes, I think the iframes last for about 3 or 4 seconds or something before you can then actually deal damage. But if you space the attacks out just a little bit, it makes it so much better to be able to work.
Yeah, like every single boss has its like own set of iframes.
Yep.
You have to get like used to. They're not too bad. Like you get them really quickly. Just like the important part is don't spam the attack button.
Yep.
Are you going for the loss-only strats here?
Probably. Nah.
Don't want to go for the hype strats?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the other strats are still pretty hype here. So what Loz is going to be doing is we're going to be doing in a bit what's known as a punch launch. And punch launch is one of those things where you need high FPS for them to work. They scale with the FPS you get. So what Loz is going to do is going to turn VSync off, and then basically just certain collision, when you punch up against it, you're just going to gain height. So we're going to see that here from Loz. Loz is going to turn VSync off, and then is going to face into this wall here, and then just punch, and you can scale that wall without needing to use the magnet suit, which you usually use to climb up there.
Yeah.
So instead, you might be wondering where Batman's gone. We've kind of left Batman behind a bit, but that's fine, because we can build this, and that changes the AI pathing, so the AI knows that the AI character can move all the way up here, and then we can drop Batman back in, and then we can pull these levers. Uh-oh.
Yeah, no. It's not a soft lock. It's just like.
It's just trying to find the button again.
Yeah, I don't know where the button is. So. I mean, I don't think I have to jump or. I know where jumping is now, but I don't know where the build is. But I don't think we actually have to build like a lot of P2.
That's
so
fine.
I can just like substitute that.
Yeah, we can jump over most things anyway. It's all good.
Yeah.
So this is another double jump here, and what Loz is doing here is walking along an invisible wall to make it nice and easy to be able to then pull these levers to open the door.
Yeah.
You're meant to be punching Two-Face and fighting Two-Face all the way through this.
Incredibly long fight, casually. Like, incredibly long.
Yeah. But thankfully, Two-Face does still take damage by the fact that we've gone through the room. The game just thinks, oh, you must have done the damage. So when we get into the next room here, we're going to spawn in the boss fight, and Two-Face will already have lost 3 out of the 9 hearts that he has. So we'll see that here. Loz is again going to be one-player 2 controller movement, apart from the build button.
Yeah, apart from the build button, but I can work around. Basically, this entire boss fight is actually like cycle-based. So I'm actually not losing that much time, because now I can build with P1 and instead just punch him with P2, or not.
Or miss him with P2, you know?
Or even though P2's right there,
Yeah.
the AI obviously decides P1 is the real threat.
Yeah.
Let's grab this purple stud here as well.
Getting the money for Ice Rink strat. That's a very new discovery as well. Ice Rink strats in 3-1. So we will be explaining that. The way the order of this is going to be is we're going to finish off episode 1 here, But then instead of going into episode 2, we're going to go and do episode 3 first.
Yeah.
The reason for that is you basically get free choice, I think, on whether you do episode 2 or episode 3 first. But episode 3 tends to be the harder one, so we do that one first in the speedruns. But we're going to see it here. This is what Loz means by cycles. Basically, you have to hit the boss a certain amount of times. The boss will then jump back up and spawn some enemies. You've got to get rid of the enemies, like so. So Loz is using the batarangs to deal damage here.
Also, the entire HUD just doesn't work here. You can't see what you're actually targeting. You're still targeting something, but you can't see it anymore.
Oh, there's one guy just hiding there.
Yeah.
There we go. And now Two-Face falls down, and Two-Face just kind of gets hit a bit, and then Riddler jumps down again. Do that here, and then that's one more time, and that'll be episode 1 complete.
Quite cleanly as well.
There we go. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Very clean.
It's like 1/3 of the entire run done.
Well, 1/3 of the run, but thankfully the other 2 episodes are a bit shorter.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether they're meant to be shorter or whether they're just that much more broken. But we've seen the stable part of the game so far, you know. But what Loz is going to do here is you spawn in the Batcave after completing each episode. You spawn specifically, which is very useful for us, right where you need to buy extras. And Loz is going to buy the extra for Ice Rink here. And this Ice Rink extra allows us to do one specific skip in the next level, 3-1, which is very new and
Very new, very hard.
Yeah.
I hope I can get it.
but what this does, as the name suggests, is it
Where's Alfred? I want.
oh no, not Alfred.
Okay, here it is.
No, what's Alfred done?
So the run is now valid. We had this like running joke in the community for the longest time that you actually have to punch Alfred for the run to be valid.
Oh.
Sadly, I think I'm the only one still doing it.
I can't believe it, taking that 1 second of time lost to do that.
He even jumped down.
I was on a hump for him. Trust me.
I was gonna say you went out of your way to hit him there.
Needed to make sure it was a valid run.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. So yeah, that wall kind of just exists. You can just jump around it. Same with this goo, really. You just kind of jump and then you past it. That's meant to be a big barrier. But what Loz is going to do here is something known as an up warp. Oh, that was good enough.
That was good enough.
Good enough.
But yeah, by pulling out the batarang, well, I think there's a specific criteria for it. I think it's you need to be under a specific bit of collision, and some other stuff needs to happen in the game. But I mean, that basically describes most things.
Yeah.
But
The game is just gaming at one point.
yeah, it really is. But yeah, what the game will do is it will just warp you up to the nearest possible floor.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that just works. We're going to see Loz go for the Ice Rink strat here. So basically, there's many ways to skip this poison goo, but the way Loz is going to be doing it is turning on the Ice Rink extra. And what that does is it basically means you have momentum. Normally in this game, when you stop, you just stop and don't move. With the Ice Rink on, you stop, drop inputs, and you start sliding. So Loz is going to come here, and then is going to throw the batarang away. And we're aiming to get the batarang back at the right time so we can catch it. Oh, that's so close. So the idea is we catch it, and at the same time as we're dying, and we're able to clip through the door at the end of this area. But of course, the goo does kill us. There's an insta-kill thing right there. There we go.
Hey.
I'm so happy I got that.
That is that is amazing.
Incredibly hard. It's like I did one setup first and I barely missed it, and then it did another setup. We have those two setups, both around a 50% chance to be working, so 100% consistency, I guess.
That was very nicely done. Given the fact that that trick has not been in the community long at all, I think less than a week at this point. So what Loz is doing here, clipping out of bounds once again and getting the up warp, so chaining those two things together. And then that'll allow Loz to be able to get through here.
Go ahead. And another side of actually me going for that skip is, as you can see, like my hearts underneath, like or right next to Batman, they're like blurry. I actually have ghost hearts, is what we call that. So basically, when I was in the goo, it took away all my hearts. The game considers me dead, basically. But actually pulling out the Batarang gets me back from like the death animation, and the game still thinks I have 0 hearts. So basically, I can't die right now. So I mean, obviously, dying would like only lose a couple seconds, but it's really nice because there's a lot of enemies that punch you around, and I can just like walk past them, no problem.
Yeah, it's worth saying if you hit a death plane, you'll die.
Yeah.
But if you just from normal like melee damage, you won't take
Yes.
anything. Loz is going for a particular trick here, where Loz will be trying to hit an out of bounds door again. So Loz has landed in a perfect spot to get a respawn here, and then will be luring an enemy, I think specifically the Mad Hatter actually, to appear in this specific spot so that the Batarang will come back and then can do a Batarang double jump to hit the trigger and skip the boss fight.
He's going crazy right
Yeah,
now,
that's
hitting
really
everything.
nice. Yeah.
So now
That was probably a personal best for me. That was
Yeah,
definitely
no,
a goal.
Yeah,
that was clean.
that was really good. And now we have the circus level in this game. I do not like this level
Great music.
at all. But yeah, no, the music just seems to be mocking you as you're doing it
Yeah.
the entire time.
I hate clowns.
Yeah. But the first thing we're going to do in this section is obviously go through a wall.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be kind of clearing out these enemies, but not for the sake of any standard progression you'd expect. Basically what we need to do is Loz will be building this kind of metal tower structure, and then we'll be going behind it and trying to clip through this kind of the fence that's behind it.
P2 anymore.
Nice. Very nice. So Loz missed the first thing you can do with that, where you can just immediately kind of be in the state to clip through, but backed it up by doing a Batarang clip instead, the BRC, to be able to get it. This is probably the most annoying trick in the run for me. Of course, Loz gets it third try, which is very nicely done, but that's remarkably precise. It looks pretty simple to get a wall jump off there with the wall jump criteria in this game.
Here because
But
the crash actually here.
yes. So Loz will be going for another punch launch here, up against this thing here. Unfortunately, Robin decides that the enemies are much more important to attack. Maybe self-preservation or something. I'm not sure about that one.
Respawn.
Got the respawn. Okay, good.
That's common thing in this game,
Yeah.
hoping for a good respawn.
Yeah. This is one of the easiest tricks in the run,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't look like it. Oh, that's
well.
interesting.
Okay.
That's a jinx.
Yeah, that's a jinx straight away.
Haters curse.
Batman is doing some
Batman
funky stuff
shouldn't be
right now.
doing that.
Yeah, that looks good.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah, Batman just appears under the floor here, which is very useful for us. Even though Batman moves at this annoyingly slow speed,
Yeah.
I think this is an underwater kind of weird collision type thing.
Oh, jump. Here. Okay.
And there we go, into the boss fight. And this boss fight is, again, this has a lot of tech to it as well. So Loz will be going for what's known as cycle skips, which is basically, we want to make sure that when Harley does these jumps away, Robin or Batman is ready to be able to immediately punch her, because otherwise she, in the second and third phase, will do another cycle where she like cartwheels around and then jumps again, and it just really stacks up the time loss. Loz is currently perfect on cycle skips at the moment, but this last phase is the most important one because basically Harley will do her cartwheeling animation 3 times if you don't get the cycle skip.
Yeah.
You can kind of improvise it halfway through, but it becomes really difficult. We'll see if Loz gets it here. That's 1. And that's 2.
Yeah,
there we go.
let's go.
11 cycle skips. Let's go. So basically skip every single cycle, like Paxa said. Normally she would like do her backflips, and in each cycle or in each phase she would actually add like another set of 10 backflips. So she starts off with 10 backflips, then you hit her twice. Then she does 20 backflips, and you have to hit her twice, and then 30 backflips. So it really adds up. It's not like just one phase you're basically skipping, you're skipping everything.
And so here we get to our second vehicle level of the run. This time instead of cars, we're flying around in planes.
Yeah, so Loz is going for a drop-in warp in this first section here. I don't think we fully explained drop-in warps, but basically what's happening is by positioning your character in a certain place with maybe a certain criteria happening to the non-playing character, or the non-playing vehicle in this case, what will happen is the game won't know where to place the character particularly, and will place them in a place where we can just go straight out of bounds there. And Loz has got to be a little bit careful to not trigger this kind of area to actually do what it's supposed to do.
You can actually shoot this thing and soft lock it.
Yeah, I've lost a run for that.
It's incredibly hard to not do it, because when you're in a run, you're just mashing buttons sometimes. So.
But also what Loz did was picked up 3 out of 3 bombs that you potentially can pick up with the Batwing in the first room, and that allows you to go through the second room very cleanly without having to do the annoying shenanigans you have to do to be able to unlock that. And now we have the Scarecrow boss fight. This boss fight is a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah.
Basically, with one player, with the Batcopter, you have to grab the biplane, and then with the other character, you then have to shoot shoot with the bomb to be able to blow up the plane. So that was pretty nicely handled. I've not seen that done one player that often.
Yeah, I did it one player because I don't know which button to grab right now. So
again.
Yeah, but I'm used to doing that 1P 1C.
Yeah.
And actually, 1P 1C, 1P 2C. I think Barrett can actually talk a little bit out there.
So one of the main tricks that we do in LEGO games is just simply 1P, 2C. And back in the day, as a long-time LEGO runner, 1P, 2C used to be banned. And so there's a couple of us who still hold on to the old ways.
It's just you.
It's just me and Lev Kester who hold out the old ways and stay strong with our 1P, 1C. But yeah. The whole community's moved on to 1P, 2C, and it's in a good place, so...
Yeah, I mean, half the tricks kind of in this run would not be possible without 1P, 2C, including one that will be in this room right here. So this room will be another drop-in warp. This one is rather annoying because you've got to jump up with Robin here, and there's kind of a weird spot or set of spots that you can land. Otherwise, Robin gets stuck in this sliding animation. Getting it that quickly is really good, and then Batman's just up here. Loz will then be getting rid of these enemies, playing it a little bit safe, because these enemies can actually break the spot that we're doing our next Batarang clip from, which is really annoying. But you pull out the Batarang from behind this thing here, and then you kind of jump up into the collision and go out of bounds.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
This is just a cool sequence of events. You do a drop-in warp, and then we're doing a down warp here, and then we go leg clip through a wall and just run out of bounds. It's a cool section, I guess.
Yeah, I like this level.
Yeah.
The boss fight, however, is...
Oh, I don't like the boss.
Yeah.
I liked this level until now. Now I hate the level.
Yeah, this boss fight definitely exists. I
Yes,
think is
that's
the best
a good
way
way
of describing
to
it.
describe it, I guess.
You can tell an optimal boss fight here. It saves a bunch of time over the casual strats.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously we know all the stuff that needs to be done and blown up and stuff in order to be able to do this. But basically the whole premise of this boss fight is you've got to light the lamp, which will attract the moth.
I don't know how to place the bomb with P2 right now, so just gonna P1 on P2 see it.
Oh, you missed
no,
one.
I missed one. Okay.
That's fine, there we go. So we know to blow up these things, and in blowing up these things, this allows us to build basically an electricity generator. One thing Loz has to be really aware of here is the enemies in this section. One thing Loz hasn't yet done is if you're near an enemy and you try and activate an activity panel or something, you do this kind of weird grab animation with either character, and it always that always takes priority over the panel or anything you're interacting with.
Oh, I got lucky and... Oh no, why did you jump away? So you can get lucky and the pathing of Kill Him Off just lands him on top of the light bulb. And by being on top of the light bulb, you actually don't have to wait the cycle. As you see, he's flying right to the left and left to the right. And once I actually pull both levers, the light bulb will actually eventually like turn on, and you're hoping for a good cycle. That's like something to keep an eye out. So you want to have him like not starting the glide animation. So let's see if I can actually get like a good cycle here. So you can see the light's gonna turn on, and
This is
a bad animation.
yeah.
So he's already in his flying or his jumping section, so he won't go straight to the light bulb anymore. And you want to like time it, and we have setups to actually time that. Weird long loading screen here, by the way.
Yes, yeah, that's just a common thing that happens after a couple of levels, I think. But we go into this level, 3-5. Again, this has had some relatively new stuff, I think, coming around with it, especially in the first level. Oh, first room, sorry. So the first room, we are going to be doing another clip to get out of bounds. This one is kind of precise to set up. But first things first, Loz has to navigate what is really the worst fence in the game. Yeah. This fence is such a thin bit of collision that you have to be able to stand on. And it's very easy to fall over the other side. But jumping on this fence, and there we go, over. And now pushing this turnstile almost all the way around. If we push it... Oh, no. So if we push that turnstile a full like 90 degrees, then we're actually going to spawn a camera pan, which spawns Harlequin outside here. But by pushing it almost all the way around, but not quite, we can get a clip through here. And then hopefully if the game decides to like us, Oz will be able to get out of bounds here.
I think I need to push a little bit more, actually.
Maybe a tiny bit, yeah. That should be good.
Yeah, that looks better.
And then there we go. And then out of bounds here. And then force an up warp again here, where you go just up to the nearest possible collision and through the door. And that skips the entirety of the first room. This second room is going to be broken by doing a Batarang double jump. That was a nice clip.
That was...
Yeah.
It's like the big brother of the fence. This fence.
So Loz is trying to space out jumps a little bit to make it across to the other side. This is a very difficult trick as well.
Crazy hard.
Oh, no. Won't work.
Ah.
I have other spots destroyed, like, no, can destroy
Yeah,
this
you can
and-
get that. Oh, that's so
I've
close.
still, like...
You still got a few you can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Cycle
gonna do
through.
the backup, which is still fine.
There we go.
There we go.
Very nice. But what that does is it means that we avoid like Harlequin and having to chase her basically up the tower instead. But we do only have one player here, which is a little bit annoying. So we have to do stuff like this. This is kind of an old trick to be able to space it out here. I think it's one of the not new tricks that Oz does where you can actually do another Batarang double jump to be able to get across there. But we're going to be saving a bit of time here by doing an up warp to get to the top of the tower. And then we've got to deal with these levers up here. And they're timed specifically so that two people open them, and you have to open them at the same time. There's a very small window where you can run between them now and do that. The next skip here is incredibly difficult. This is known as Holy Skip. I don't know who named it.
Note.
Note named
Okay,
it, right? But what you've got to do is move out of bounds here and go around some death planes while e-gliding at a constant 88 beats per minute to be able to hit an out of bounds door here. So there's a lot of play here. I think the setup is to do 4 e-glides kind of upright, and then 4 right, and then 2 kind of down right to be able to hit it. But it's very precise whether you can be able to hit it. And if your timing drops at all, then it's very difficult to make this. So let's see if Loz can get it. That's looking a little bit too low.
I was a little bit too far behind there.
It's a great way to test that you have your E-glides down and you've got that rhythm perfect. You can do this, you've got all of it set up for the rest of the game.
There we go. Very nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, no, that is what taught me e-glide.
Yeah.
I think spending an hour not getting it first time I was trying it, and then eventually getting it once. That's how I realized that I was actually pretty bad at e-glides. But that is episode 3 complete. So we've got one more episode left to go. Episode 2, which is the shortest one.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 follows the path of the penguin throughout the entire thing. So the penguin's like the main villain, but the first level starts off with Catwoman. as the first boss. Well, I say boss we fight. We don't really.
No.
We kind of skip a good few
Skip
things.
every
here.
single Catwoman fight.
Yeah.
Valid run.
Well,
Yeah. So not that long ago, I'm thinking maybe 3 days ago, Loz started up a stream of practicing for ESA. And from what I remember, that practicing for ESA started out with, oh, let's load up 2-1 and practice. Hold on a minute. Can we skip this potentially? Let's have a look if we can skip one particular camera pan, which we will see about halfway through the level. And yeah, Loz has routed this in the space of a few days and is now pretty consistent with it from what I've seen.
Get it.
Yeah. Now I've changed
now
it. But,
Commentator's curse.
Come on.
but first we're going to see here a little bit of parkour from Robin. So Robin's got to go round to get the wall jump off of that window ledge there. That was very cleanly done.
So interestingly, Robin knows how to wall jump, but the game never uses that mechanic in any of the casual gameplay. You never have to wall jump in the game, but it's built in.
Yeah, it's a feature just like Clayface can also wall jump, Mad Hatter, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. They can all wall jump, but it's never used.
Yeah. So we're going to see the skip I was talking about from Loz here. We've got a few E-glides to get over here. Again, E-glides, rather precise rhythm mashing to be able to get them. But what Loz is going to do here is jump from this silo onto the top of this crane. There we go. And from this crane, you've got to do very precise E-glides in a very precise direction to be able to go over a camera pan trigger, which is there. Oh, we just hit it.
Just.
That is unfortunate.
But it's still save time because Batman just landed on top of here.
Yep.
Nice.
So that would be like the camera pan we're actually skipping by flying over it.
Yeah.
It still saves time doing it that method because normally what you used to do is just like jump into like the gap in the two rooftops and it would like skip the entire fight. Like the devs didn't think that you would just like try to go ahead.
Yep.
You're supposed to fight Catwoman there, but if you just go ahead, the fight just ends.
Yeah. Again, we've got some more levers to battle with. That's a lot of a common theme through this. But we're in this next section, we're going to be setting up for a quick kill on Catwoman here. And what we can do, basically, bosses are still affected by death planes in the same way that regular characters are. And we can abuse that here. The devs have tried to take precautions to make sure you cannot like get bosses to fall off of death planes, but we see it both in this game and in Lego Star Wars that it is very possible.
What? Oh.
That is brutal.
I'm setting up for 0 stats anyway, so.
Yeah. That was the plan. There we go. And Catwoman falls down, and we skip the entire boss fight there. That was very nicely done. And now we have everyone's favorite level. Oh no!
You unplug the controller. Make sure your controls are set right. We don't want it to mess up again.
Uh-oh.
No,
there we go. Okay,
there we go.
Yeah.
A little bit of lag.
Yeah, it's usually what happens if you unplug and plug in a PS4 controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we have here is level 2-2 known as Bat Boat Battle, or as it's affectionately called in the community, Trash Boat Battle. This level is absolute garbage. But what we've got to do here is we've got to basically move these boats, or move Batman to get over here, and then we're going to drop Robin in over on this side. And then the whole mechanic of this kind of section is that you've got to be able to drag these big bombs with the Bat Boat to be able to hit these kind of silver targets and be able to go through the room. Got to destroy all the enemies in this section here, and then we keep making our way over to the right.
And so the bombs that you get on the toe
I figured out where to shoot.
notoriously
Hey,
hard to control
Where
and
did that
aim.
press? I have no idea what that pressed.
You'd think after 2,300 hours or however many hours you have in this game, you'd know the default controls.
I know
don't
the
think
default-
these are default.
Those are not the default.
If you have time for a donation, I have one that
Sure.
actually talks about the default control. We have a $10 donation from Nice Fighter that says, reminder, by the way, that the build button for default player 2 keyboard controls is numpad 3. So just giving you a little heads up there.
I tried that, trust me.
I think at this point, Loz has pressed every single button on the numpad to try and get it to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we've got to do here is hit the buttons to be able to open the gate here. I believe there is potentially a skip for this, maybe coming sometime in the not too distant future. We know a setup to hit the out of bounds door, but getting out of bounds is incredibly difficult and annoying. But now we have this amazing masterpiece design of a boss fight right here. You see, Loz actually missed that targeting.
Yeah.
Because you have to hit this boat in a particular order with the bombs. You have to target the left, then the right, then the back, and then the front with these bombs. But the targeting window and the physics on the bombs themselves are absolutely awful.
You actually managed to get that one today.
Yeah, very
I
nice.
think you missed that one, what, 10 times in the practice room yesterday?
Well, the thing is, we try to do this fast, obviously, so we're actually trying to get as far away as possible from the bomb, because how the physics work in this game is like you sling them basically. Obviously, by being further away, you sling them faster. But it's like really tight way actually to get it to work. And you have to like aim it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about these is after the first two bombs, like enemies and stuff are kind of planted in the way to make sure that, or to try and make it harder for you to hit. And they are just absolutely, they do their job. Really annoyingly, they do their job well. Because they struggle to get targeted as well by like Robin's bombs, which is the idea. But we finish off the level here. That was pretty smoothly done. And yeah, as far as 2-2 goes, that's a good 2-2.
Yeah.
It's a 2-2.
Yeah. The 2-2 that exists.
Yeah. But we now go into 2-3 here, and 2-3 is one of the more tech-heavy levels, definitely, in this game. It's a fun one if you can string it all together. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet with stringing it all together, but
Let's see if I'm there.
yeah. We start off here with a bit of AI manipulation here. So basically what we're going to do is take a specific line with Robin here, and then we're going to jump into the water and switch character, and Robin, the AI for some reason thinks you're a lot further ahead and super jumps you all the way forward. Super jumping is kind of a technique relatively universal across the early LEGO games, where if the game doesn't know where to place an AI character, it will kind of just make them jump all the way to like the last respawn point it thinks they should be at. That's also a precise jump to get to that trigger there, and then Loz will be doing another up warp here. There we go. And we're going to pick up the glide suit again, and you know what that means? That means we are e-gliding out of here. But first we've got to do a quick clip to get through here. This is another Batarang clip, but this one you can actually make a little bit easier by throwing the Batarang. Didn't need to that
Lovely.
time. But yeah, by throwing the Batarang, sometimes when you catch it, it's easier to get through. This is a very precise trick as well coming up right here. So you've got to set up a Batarang double jump again, a BDJ, but specifically doing it so that you can get just enough height to get to this upper level here. Unfortunately, not quite this time.
But at least it didn't fall back in bounds at the bottom and have to do all of the extra casual stuff that you need to do.
Yep.
Not hitting the e-glads.
Yeah, this is a very difficult trick. I think you've got 2 more tries at it. Getting up here, the height looks good if you can maintain the e-glides. It's going to be close.
Surely.
There we go,
Easy.
very nice. Yeah, so that saves about 20 seconds normally, I think, if you're able to get that. But
Yeah,
it's
probably like broke even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a difficult strat. And now we have our boss fight, and Killer Croc has a lot of health. But thankfully, we don't need to do much attack spacing in this fight, because Batman's normal attack animations is actually long enough so that Killer Croc won't get the boss iframes, which lose like 3-4 seconds each time it happens. What Loz will be going for here, though, instead, is trying to stand on specific objects here and basically push Killer Croc away from the object at the right time. And by doing this, you can actually kind of skip the animation. You see, Loz got it right there on that last one. So the object stays in the same spot, which means the camera pan then doesn't start. Killer Croc picks up invisible items here, as you do, and still throws them at Batman because Killer Croc now has the power to spawn entities, which is a new one. It's
A very new power.
I don't remember that being in the comics, but there we go. That is 2-3 done. So we've only got 2 levels left now. Starting off with 2-4. This is definitely a level.
It is a level.
But we're gonna start off here doing exactly what the game doesn't want us to do. Basically, the end goal of this room is to go through the kind of chained gates, which you might have seen in the top left corner there. But the way we do that is we're going to be doing a clip off this metal stuff here. So it's actually all the same room, this area. So even though we went through a transition, we can still hit the transition that loads the next room because all the transition did in that case was what's known as a soft load, where the angle the camera angle changes, but it doesn't actually affect loading the map at all. So we're able to hit that transition. We have to get rid of some enemies here because Loz will be going for another Batarang clip. And this Batarang clip is, again, pretty painful.
Yeah, I'm gonna deal with the enemies just for consistency's sake.
Yeah.
You can do this perfectly fine with all the enemies around, but it can get messy, and if they're destroyed, we have to go for a backup. We have like 5 backups in this room.
Yeah.
They're really cool, but I want to showcase this way here.
Yep, so getting behind the ice cream cart there and
That's
doing another
right.
lag strat to get out of bounds. Very nicely done. The room's not quite over just yet because we've got a little bit of a difficult jump to get up here. Very nicely
It's only
done.
difficult for you.
Okay,
I've never
okay,
seen
okay,
anyone
yeah.
else struggle with that.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, unfortunately. But then we have to go and pick up the bomb suit once again here, which is a bit of an annoying track. It would be nice if there was a ability to hit the out of bounds trigger here, but I think it's not possible.
Yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let
Let
Loz
Loz
cook.
cook.
Yeah.
I'll cook.
You want to find something right now then?
It's still.
You got time. You're underestimate.
But what we're going to be doing here is probably, well, the respawns in this game are weird. So if Loz takes a death up here, he will respawn back in the water because for some reason the water, everywhere in the water will give you a good respawn, but nowhere on the boat will be able to give you a respawn. But we now go into the man-bat fight.
I don't know how to build, so.
You're not trying numpad 3 again. So yeah, we can talk about the way Loz does 1P2C actually while we're talking during this fight. Normally, anyway, the way Loz does it is doing one controller, one keyboard. So you see player 1 is always controlled by the controller because... Interesting.
I figured out where to build. It's numpad 2.
Oh, of course, of course.
It's just one over.
Also, set it on the button prompt.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, really? We're speedrunners, we don't read that. That's the problem. But yeah, so the way Loz is doing this is one controller. P1 is always being controlled by the controller, and then player 2 is being controlled by keyboard. The way Loz does it is holding the controller in both hands and using kind of your 3rd, 4th, and 5th finger on the keyboard. I think it's just off camera on the webcam, but yeah, it's very cool. There's so many different ways of doing 1P2C. The run afterwards, we'll see Chess does, I think, a kind of similar.
I think he does pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, the one hand and.
Yeah, so we'll be able to see that again. That's just a jump that can happen. I don't think the devs thought that anyone would be precise enough to be able to jump that. But this is a weird Batarang double jump here, because Loz is setting up for it here, and you want to be able to set the Batarang pathing basically so that it takes long enough to swing across, or swim across that kind of lake to be able to hit or to be able to get over and hit the door here. And then we have the last boss fight in the run. This boss fight, Loz has potentially found something which could be in the works. You found that yesterday. That basically what we've got to do for the start of this boss fight is use these penguin bombs to be able to blow up all 4 targets, or all 4 treadmills that are here. And that penguin went on a magical journey for some reason. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get 2 things to blow up kind of during each cycle. Each cycle is when these wheels respin and you have to target them again. So you see, Loz has destroyed the 2 objects on the left because he set up one to path to the treadmill during the camera pan, and Loz will be going for that again. There's kind of 2 parts for it. So one of it's setting the angle of this kind of reflective barrier so that they bounce in the right direction, and then the other thing is manipulating the enemies so they just do not interact with that at all. Because if the enemies or any character touches one of these bombs, the bombs just automatically blow up. So I think that's a good line to finish that off. Very nice. Yep.
Yep, lovely.
That red guy made me panic for a minute, but we're all good.
He did look a bit scary.
Yeah. And time is going to be coming up very soon because Loz is going to be going for a quick kill here. So basically, Penguin will run all the way over to the toxic goo, which is in this corner here. And by positioning the camera with player 2, using player 2 to warp the camera a bit with Robin, and then bringing Penguin all the way over here.
Come on, Penguin.
Probably have to get rid of some enemies as well because these enemies are notoriously, I think they take priority on attacking. It's really annoying. But a precise setup here. And you see we did 1 heart of damage with the toxic goo. So Loz was in a decent position, but not quite the perfect position. So let's see if Loz can get it again here. Yeah, just get rid of that guy. Again, not quite, but that's very close. Do another attack here. Oh, that's so annoying.
I should be able to push him in.
Yeah.
Oh, went the wrong way. Again, another heart of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, we're chipping away slowly here.
Yeah. So the idea behind this quick kill is actually he's gonna be at like 3, or you have dealt 3 hearts of damage, and he will just like jump into the goo.
Uh-oh. Come on. This is the one. No.
At this point, it would probably be faster if I just do it.
One more try.
One more try. Come on.
No, didn't like that.
Now, Catwoman is here.
You got it. Come on. That's so close. Push him in. One more.
No.
Okay, now I'm just punching.
Yeah, just punch him.
Just punch him.
And time is there.
Ow.
So yeah, this was rather, Lego Batman 1, the video game hero story. As you saw, incredibly broken category, really technical, really fun. Once you learn it, I think it's an amazing run. You can actually don't have to be amazing at 1P2C or anything, and the good thing about this run is you can start implementing harder and harder strats as you go. The skill ceiling is so high in this run, but it makes it also really great for just learning a speed run, because you can just decide which strats you're gonna use and compete with those strats. Makes it really cool. Thank you to both my commentators, Captain Pegs and Bearhead. You'll be running Lego Lord of the Rings free play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If I'm correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Barrett will be running Box and Test.
Yeah,
Box and Test and Time Buster, I think tomorrow night.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
1 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
him too. Thank you both for commentating again. Thank you, ESA, for having me and being able to actually showcase this amazing game. Without further ado, I'd like to give the scene over to Chesswiz, who's going to be running Lego Pirates of the Caribbean next. So stay tuned.